Hello everyone. So we are Pierre from the University of Louvain in Belgium and
Stanislas from Grenoble University.
And we'll talk to you about our coupling of an energy planning tool with a macroeconomic model. So the kind of problem that we identified is that in many energy planning tools, may it be Energy Scope, PIPSA, Osmosis or others, we are optimizing an energy system based on the cost, but by assuming that the economic environment in which we are optimizing stays constant throughout the transition. Sometimes we have a coupling between the energy system model with a macroeconomic model, but most of the time this coupling is a soft coupling which is unidirectional. So one model gives its outputs to the other model to inform it about the energy context or the macroeconomic context, and that's all. You don't have a feedback loop in many cases. So we wanted to do another kind of coupling between two models. So the energy system model which we are using is Energy Scope. I won't detail it too much because lots of people have already mentioned it and many of you know how it works. So it's very similar to PIPSA or Osmosis. And this model, so basically it's given the energy system today, it's giving or computing an optimal trajectory to decarbonize it up until 2050, where it becomes carbon neutral, and of course, it's an open source model.
And for the macroeconomic model, we use GEM, which is a macroeconomic model representative of a small open emerging economy. So it is not a computable general equilibrium model, rather it is a dynamic system characterized by disequilibrium dynamics, where the adjustment between supply and demand occurs through both price and quantity adjustments. And the second important feature of the model, it is stock flow coherent, which means that it's built upon a rigorous accounting framework where the stock of financial assets and liabilities of all economic agents are explicitly modeled, as well as the associated financial flows. And this makes the model well suited to study issues related to financing of the energy transition and the risk it poses in terms of financial stability.
And so the idea of the coupling is that we first run GEM, both models describe a country. Typically, we are interested about emerging economies. So we are working with both Colombia, which is an energy exporter, and Turkey, which is a fossil fuel energy importer. And so we run first GEM on the country with a baseline case just to know how the economy is supposed to evolve. Then, from this GEM run, we can extract energy demand projections as well as different economic data which allow us to have an estimation of the cost of financing for investments in energy infrastructure and how this evolves throughout the transition. Then we feed all of this into Energy Scope. We run Energy Scope, which gives us a suggestion of transition plan. So Energy Scope gives us outputs, namely what are the investments we should do every year until 2050. We put that into GEM, and since those investments are quite massive, they modify the economy, and so GEM gives another output which you feed to Energy Scope, and so on, until you have perfect convergence between the two models. So in fact, I think it's not really a hard coupling as we wrote when we were illiterate about modeling 2 days ago. It's rather a bidirectional soft linking with convergence. And so the thing is that thanks to this coupling, we obtain an energy system model which takes into account that the economic environment is varying, and most importantly, which takes into account the implications or the impacts of its own optimization into so it takes into account its own impacts onto the economic system. And then thanks to this, we can discuss not a biophysical safe space, but financial and economic safe space for the transition. So typically, we can discuss about which trajectories are robust in terms of those emerging economies, and so which trajectories allow us to avoid a currency crisis or a financial crisis. Thanks for listening, and we are looking forward to discussing this with you further at the coffee break.